Hello everyone, welcome to today's New Mom Monday. Did you love the show last week?
I loved it.
Did you love the show last week?
We're doing it again next week.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It was so fun.
Me
it
too.
was very fun. They put me in like a couple conversations that I was like, what?
We made you blush?
Yeah, you made me blush.
Twice.
Yeah.
Thought it was going to be a whole lot more.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I'm getting used to things around here. But today we're talking about and I don't remember what the name of what the reminder said.
Postpartum body. I got this.
Postpartum body. But it's not like weight loss postpartum body.
No.
It's not postpartum depression. It's like what happens like
physically.
Right after, physically, like right after you have the baby. And we're going to talk about it all.
We talk about mental health, and we talk about hormones, and we talk about if there's issues, we talk about breastfeeding, we talk about the baby, we talk about colic. I don't think we've ever done a show where we talk about the mom.
Yeah, and what's normal.
Even in a normal situation, what it is and what that means.
Right, yeah. So Bri has a pretty awesome list here, and I'm like, wait, what is that? So I'm excited to talk about it because I'm like, I have things to say about some of them, but not all of them. So the first thing on the list.
Well, let me do one more thing.
Yeah.
And we'll get back here. I have a friend who said to me, we were talking about afterbirth. This is her first baby. She deals with women all the time. And in a practitioner setting, and she said to me, I said, yeah, you're going to get these wonderful underwear, right? You hold them up. And I said, but you can get just maternity underwear on Amazon, nice cotton ones. You're going to want those in the hospital for a couple of days, but after that, I was ready to be rid of them. And she said to me, I'm going to need underwear? And I said, yeah.
Because normally she just doesn't wear underwear.
Which there are a lot of girls that do that. Do we have an article on that or something? I don't know.
I think we do have an article on that.
But anyways, it got me thinking, you've been dealing with babies and birth and women and everything, not birth itself, but for years. And I started thinking about the fact that I had a C-section with my first one. I didn't know what a placenta was until, I don't know, a year or two before I had my first natural birth. And these are all things that happen. Right. So I just figured we'd go down the list of...
So might as well start there.
Start there.
With a natural birth. And that's the other thing is that we've both had C-sections.
Yep. And
you've had a couple natural births too. So.
Yes. Well, vaginal and natural, two different ways to look at it. Natural is what I always look at as without meds. Vaginal, because you can still do non-natural regular birth. Vaginal birth with... So I had a C-section, my first, and then my other two were VBACs. Yeah. They're considered VBACs. Yeah.
So the placenta, what's the story with the placenta, with a vaginal birth specifically?
We're going to put this all in layman's terms too, because we should specify for anybody that's not watching. Let us know if you're first time. Put a 1 in the comments. This is your first show. But we're not doctors.
No.
And so we like to bring it back to the mom level of we do in everyday life. But... So the placenta is what holds the baby, right? I don't know. It's this big gob of gross looking...
A gob of stuff. A gob of nutrients, though. Like, apparently it's full of good things.
I wanted to see what it looked like after my first. My second, I was like, nope, I saw it last time, I'm good. And they had it in a bag, in a wash tub. Like, you know the pink and gray wash tubs that Grandma used to use? So they had it in that in a garbage bag, and so you have the baby, right? Baby. This is obviously not C-section, but
So deliver the baby.
You deliver the baby. Do they just take this placenta out when they take the baby out with the C-section?
I'm assuming so. I've never watched a C-section, but my assumption is that they just take the baby out and whatever else needs to come out, including like the.
Somebody will comment and let us know because we don't know.
This is a complete squirrel moment, but if you ever watch Grey's and they have like the gauze that they stuff in and it gets full of stuff and then they take them at the end of the C-section and you hear them counting, they're counting those to make sure that they're removing all of them. And it's just crazy to think like, that's gross. That's really nasty. Okay, so the placenta. I'm assuming they just take it all out.
Okay, so back to, you're going to deliver the baby. And then, I don't know, a couple minutes later, this is what it was always for me, sometimes 10, sometimes later, if possible, baby umbilical cord is still connected, depending on how crunchy you want to get. Right. So My last 2 babes had really small, short cords, so so the cord was done pulsing, it was white, there's no blood left in it. We couldn't get baby on my chest without cutting that cord.
Right.
So we did cut earlier than I would have preferred, actually, with Jace. Jackson was a little bit longer. So then you're going to deliver the placenta. They're going to say, okay, you're ready to deliver the placenta. And the goal is not to have them pull on it, not to force it out, because that's another thing, that you just want to hurry up the process, but our bodies are made to have these babies. And yeah, so no pulling, no tugging, no trying to get that placenta out. It's going to come when it's ready, unless there's other complications. But
I guess I feel like very naive to this, because I don't know.
Like a deflated balloon.
But like you push just like you push when you have the baby?
Yes.
And they tell you when to push?
But it doesn't hurt. Yes. God, it's all a blur. Yes.
Okay, so they tell you when to push.
Well, no, you kind of just, your body just says, okay, I'm ready to deliver the placenta now.
So it just happens.
Yeah. It happens in the wild, too. Like you can see with the deer and stuff.
I guess I haven't watched enough birthing videos
to
see any of this.
So we had this come out. My husband told me that was the grossest part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
That he could, if he didn't have to see that ever again, he was fine with that. And so then they said, would you like to see it? And I said, yes. And he goes, no, you don't need to see it. And I said, yeah. So they're unwrapping it. And I'm like, it's really ugly.
Okay, I'm going to ask, just because, I don't know. I mean, maybe other people don't know this too, but does it not just look like blood? Does it look different than just like tons of blood?
It's like blood in a membrane.
Oh, so it's like a weird.
It's like a sack.
Interesting. Okay.
But I find it funny because it's secondhand nature now to know what a placenta is. Right. I had no idea you delivered 2 things.
Yeah.
I had like a 7-year-old till I figured it out.
Yeah, I guess I didn't. I knew today. I guess I didn't realize that it was like another delivery. I thought it was just.
I could be wrong.
I thought that maybe it just happened like at the same time.
Fast. So when you're in the moment, it's just there.
Right.
Yeah. So people encapsulate it. It's supposed to be really, really good for postpartum depression. It's supposed to be really good
to take it as a pill.
To take it, encapsulate it within the first 24 hours. There's postpartum doulas that'll do that for you. Wow. I know people that'll freeze it and then blend it and then encapsulate it themselves. Yeah. I know people that take it and I don't know people. This is all stuff I read. And I'm like, people will plant trees with it. So they'll plant a tree next to the baby's placenta, and that's supposed to be the tree of life. It's just all stuff I didn't do. I let the hospital take it. It wasn't for me.
All sorts of things.
All sorts of things.
Yeah.
But it is
You're
supposed
not quite
to be really
crunchy.
good.
Would you put that on the crunchy scale as like very?
But I would say the crunchiest was the article online about the placenta pizza.
Oh my gosh!
This man took his wife's.
Wait, a man? Okay.
Yep, placenta, and cooked it and fried it and added as a topping on top of a pizza.
God,
there's an entire article complete with pictures on it.
That's really disgusting.
Too far.
That's like off the scale.
I'm sure it's super good for you. It's
scale.
Kind of like grass-fed liver. Super good for you. Can't stomach it yet.
Ugh, no, I'm not there yet.
Not there.
Not at all.
It's yucky and it's ugly, and you're going to deliver it, and you can take it home with you. You can freeze it. You can eat it. You can do whatever you want with it.
Can we talk about poop now, or do we need to wait for the postpartum part? Because do you poop when you deliver a baby?
Well, we're still in the hospital. I didn't poop in the hospital.
I didn't either because I had a C-section.
I remember being terrified.
I don't know. Right.
The first poop is the most terrifying part of birth.
It is.
I think so.
That it is. Well, I guess it depends.
Should we see if Dr. Alex texts us back yet?
Yeah. Is she on?
Okay, so.
We don't have to talk about poop yet. I was just wondering about, like, if it always, like, I've heard stories of when you deliver a baby, you poop too. So I just didn't know if that was like.
Oh, on the table. Yeah.
Like every time? All the time?
I did. But no. I
mean, we don't have to talk about it. But
I did not expect the show to go there today.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, you do.
My bad.
Because the compression of your body trying to push this baby out.
I guess if I was a new mom, I would think, does that really happen or doesn't
I know a lot of people that their
biggest
fear was, what if I poop on the table?
Yeah.
But once you're in there, it's minor.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Everything's coming out at that point.
Yeah. But yeah, you totally do poop on the table.
Okay. So it does happen. All right.
Yeah. And then they're trying to wipe it and they're...
Yeah. Good to know.
But it is what it is. I'm 3 babies in, I make the puke face because that was probably my second least favorite part. After the first poop was the poop of during the birth.
Yeah. People are commenting. Kim said, yes, I did poop while delivering my first child. So embarrassing.
So embarrassed.
Yeah, Ashley didn't.
Just remember. We're not going to share this. I just remember, you can't feel it because everything down there is on fire and there's cramps and there's all this stuff. I just remembering this, you could smell it.
Yeah.
And it was like,
oh, my
Mom.
baby.
I remember because my husband and my mom were in the room and I was like, Mom. And she's like, it's fine, turning red.
Man.
I don't blush
That
often.
would be super embarrassing.
But afterwards it's done and now it's funny. We laugh about it.
Yeah,
so
because
don't be worried about it.
So don't be embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed. I'm just more embarrassed talking about it now on the Wellness Way Facebook page to all the employees.
It's okay. It's natural.
It's natural.
It happens to deer. Isn't that what you just told me about the
placenta? Dear.
Oh, dear.
Okay,
so
yes.
Spawn. Brianna's
Your
back there.
jokes are a little spotty.
Oh, come on. Oh, my eyes are watering now from laughing.
So you're going to poop on the table. You're going to deliver the placenta.
Got it. It's painful.
It's painful. And then you're going to bleed.
A lot.
For like ever.
Yeah, it doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop.
But really, even, I mean, going between to getting to the bleeding part, even with a C-section, you're still going to go through that same stuff afterwards.
It's like a period that never ends. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But with the natural birth I should say the vaginal birth over the C-section, I felt like I bled longer and it hurt more. So with my first VBAC, I had an episiotomy, which means they cut. So in order to get the baby, so I had requested no episiotomy. I think we've shared my birth plan before. Of course, I requested no as much as possible, but then things happened. So with my second, I had an episiotomy, and the recovery time was way worse. The third, I just had a small natural tear. I had read, or I was told by the doctors that a episiotomy, a cut, is easier to heal from than a natural tear. I found it to be the complete opposite. Wow. In fact, I was in lots and lots of pain for a couple weeks after, like,
with the cut.
Took Advil or whatever when they recommend kind of pain, and I don't touch that stuff. Yeah. But turmeric and Boswellia and all that, wasn't touching it. So I did. I remember with Jackson, them coming in the room and even offering and saying, because I had hospital births, but them saying, do you want an ibuprofen? Or there's certain ones you can have and not have.
Or Percocet or whatever,
whatever a little the different, drugs are. And I said, no, I'm fine. I didn't do anything the whole time. It was totally different. So I don't know if that was it or not. But
Rachel says it's a lie. Tear is better. So she agrees with you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, total lie. They probably can charge you for the cut.
That's probably what it is.
Probably.
It's another surgery or some sort of expense that they can do.
So I did have stitches both times, but the second time was much better. So the other thing that I didn't know, how I didn't know this with Jace, is that you can take a bath, like almost immediately following.
After a vaginal birth.
Yeah, not your C-section.
Yeah,
not your C-section, but after a vaginal birth. I knew they did water births, and I knew you weren't supposed to get stitches wet, but they said to me, you can take a bath. And
so
I
you
said,
did that, and it was...
I can take a bath. So they had tubs in the hospital that was, the hospital I was at, in the middle of the woods. Remember when we had Jackson at the campground, almost? And it was phenomenal. Like,
for the pain or just in general?
The pain, the healing, the feeling clean. Like, I couldn't believe it. So we had him at 4:30ish in the morning, and 4:30 in the morning, and that evening, so family came, visited, we did our thing, we latched.
And then it was after all that.
And Wes was there, and then they said, you can take a bath. And I said, I can take a bath.
Really?
And
so you didn't.
Yeah, so I took a bath, and it was awesome.
And it helped with the pain and whatever. But
yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I had all C-sections, so I didn't get to take a bath.
Yeah.
But the bleeding stays the same.
Yeah.
Are we past the hospital now? Are we home?
Okay, so then you go home.
Yeah.
And they send you home with some stuff.
Yeah.
Actually,
and we have some of it here.
They sent me home with the underwear, extra. Get as many as you can get because you don't want to put them in your washer.
And you don't want to run out.
No.
Because then what are you going to do?
And they send you home with these giant pads that are like this big. And they didn't send me home.
You're so subtle about it. You're like, they're like this big? No, they're like this big. I mean, I guess it depends. But
depends.
I didn't even know I was making a joke. That's the best. All right. Anyway, you get these giant pads.
You get these giant pads.
Giant underwear.
Yep. Now, I was not given these, but Kim had them from hers.
Okay.
And she brought me over pads that you stick in the freezer. Oh no, these ones you just snap. They're ice ones.
That's an actual pad.
So the last 2 hospitals I was at, it's ice for your vagina.
Got it.
And it's fantastic when everything hurts.
Yeah.
Right?
I bet it would be.
So you're gonna pee for the first time in the hospital. I was in and then I was out. So went in on one day, I was out the next day. They'll let you stay for 2 nights. I wanted to get home. I should have stayed, but no, just kidding. I wanted to get home. Yeah. So you go home with all this stuff, and you're kind of, for me, I remember being kind of bed and couch ridden for the first couple of days. So you got to have help.
Yeah.
My grandparents came over, and mom and mother-in-law and husband and different stuff like that. So so if you don't have that, postpartum doula, they exist. We talked about Erin with this on one of the shows,
and it's really you really do need help, even if it's not a C-section. You need somebody there to take care of you.
Yeah, I like to think that I'm super independent sometimes. I'm a little bit of a control freak, just a little bit. And even I couldn't. I was like, yep, I need this. Bring me water. You're just trying to feed a kid and keep it alive, let alone take care of you and clean up blood and puke. And if there's other kids at home too, oh my goodness.
Oh, that's even worse.
Find a babysitter for them.
Right.
For the first couple days.
My other 2 kids had strep when I came home with Finley, and it was like the worst possible scenario.
Yikes.
Yeah. I just remember how awful it was. I'm like, is it because it's the third, or is it because my other kids are sick? But
both.
That's when family is needed, and my sister and mom and husband and everybody was there. But.
Yeah. So you're gonna bleed. So the birth hurts. The stitches hurt. This isn't just to be about. It's just to say that it happens. I know people that are like, it was wonderful. If you were to ask me my Jackson birth compared to my Jace, no pain. I mean. Compared to Jace, just the after pain.
It's not even to complain as much as to like be real and say this is what's going to happen if you haven't had a baby.
Yeah.
Or if you have, then you're probably on here like agreeing with everything that we're saying.
Yeah. I still will say my vaginal births were 10 times better, easier, faster than my C-section. So we've talked about that before. I had an emergency C-section. I think yours were planned.
Mine were all planned. Well, one of them was just because I was a couple weeks late, and then the other one was
I was asked if I wanted to plan mine to be, because I already had one, and I'm so glad that I didn't go for the regular. Yeah, it hurts a little bit more in the moment, but not really in the end. So then you're going to go home, and then if you're anything like me, you're going to be terrified about the first poop. Like, everything hurts down there.
And if you had a C-section, then you have to poop before you leave the hospital.
Really?
Well, you can maybe get away with it if you
had to pass gas. Maybe that's the regular.
Well, or maybe it's changed so many years ago. Or maybe it depends on the doc. I don't know. I was able to leave before with my last one, but it was like you have to promise to get a drug to take or something to make it happen. And then like with the follow-up, they always follow up and say, well, have you had your first stool or whatever?
Yeah.
BM, whatever they call it. But yeah, you have to either poop before you leave or make sure that you tell them that you do after. I don't know the science behind it, but it must matter a lot.
Or they think it matters.
I don't know.
But magnesium citrate, it's the same thing. We use something called Relax, which is magnesium citrate, but that huge for stool softener, like cramps, pain. So I take that during my whole pregnancy, and then kind of just stay right on it afterwards, because the last thing I want to do is be constipated and
miserable.
Yeah. And it was not as bad as I thought it was, the first poop.
Does that help with any cramping? Because I know, like, with the C-section, to get your uterus back down to normal size, like at the end of a C-section, this is the absolute...
That's not just a C-section. It's any of them.
Wait, the massaging part?
Yep, both.
That's the absolute worst part of all of my C-sections was when they were like,
that makes me, if I would ever...
I'm like, no, don't. It hurts. The pressure and the pain, and like I felt like I couldn't breathe. It was awful.
That is the one thing that if I ever had another baby, I'd have a home birth for. Don't touch me. My body was made to leave me alone. Quit pressing on me. But your uterine
because that was like one of the most painful things that I just was not a fan of with each C-section.
Yeah.
That I'm like...
They do that with the regular one too. They'd come in and wake up and they had to check it. But and then if you're nursing, it contracts even faster. So
and it hurts
with
while you're
each
nursing.
baby, it hurts more.
Oh, really?
Because it shrinks faster. I think that's what I had read.
Okay.
So like breastfeeding my third versus my second and first, the cramps, they went away faster, but they were, I mean,
bad in the beginning.
Bad, doubling over. But that's normal.
Right.
That's
So that
common.
cramping
Your uterus,
happens while
I mean, your
you're
uterus
nursing.
stretches out to how big, and now it's
Right.
got to come back. Don't my diagrams, but yeah.
This big, this big. I guess it
So
depends how big the baby
now you have this belly and all this weight, and it's gone. I end up
Yeah.
with back pain afterwards.
Oh.
So
Like
day
lower
2,
back?
Yep, lower back typically, and laying in a hospital bed for 2 days.
Yeah.
Laying on
Or
the
3
couch
or
for
4
weeks
days.
straight. Nursing, can we talk about what you do
my
to your neck when
gosh.
you nurse?
The way you sit when you're nursing.
Right?
It's always something. Or you're sitting on a leg or
Yeah.
moving an arm. And then if it's for me at least, like if it's working, I'm not going to move.
Yeah.
Even if I'm super uncomfortable. So I'm just going to let the baby eat and then move from there.
Oh, baby finally latched.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my
And
goodness,
it's like,
don't move, don't blink.
It's so true though. That's really what happens. And
So
then
you should
you're
have a
sore.
chiropractor during your pregnancy.
Yes. And after.
And after. Mm-hmm. And if you don't, and you just had a baby, go find yourself a chiropractor. You can send us a thank you card later.
Yeah, for sure.
So, baby should have one too. But we talk about that in a different episode.
Yeah,
So,
chiropractic
that's big
care.
for me.
Good.
Chiropractic. Breastfeeding itself is hard. We've talked about this in multiple shows, but since we're talking about pain today,
Yeah.
it is going to be painful. But if it's nails on a chalkboard continually, find a
Then
lactation
something's-
consultant.
yeah.
Every hospital nowadays, if you've delivered in a hospital, even if you didn't deliver in a hospital, you can go and find a lactation consultant. Usually it's free if you just walk
and you
in
might
there.
just like something might just be a little bit off, and they can do one thing that's going to help make a huge difference.
When I was having latching issues, well, I didn't know I was having latching issues, but
yeah.
having all that pain, and I just thought, I just got to press through. I just
Yep.
got to press through. With
gonna be normal.
Jace, it ended up being the latching issue. I wish
Yeah.
I would have known sooner. Then with
Yeah.
Jackson, I did know, which the breastfeeding was about a year apart, because I stopped breastfeeding
one to the
Jace, and then I
next.
got pregnant, and then you have 9 months of pregnancy. They were still sore, really sore
Yeah.
for the first 2 weeks. Really, really
Which is
sore.
normal at
So
first.
CBD.
Right, like instead of a nipple cream.
Yes, CBD
Yeah, use
topically.
CBD. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for all of my babies, I had some sort of nipple cream or something. I didn't know about CBDs.
Yeah, I didn't with
Oops.
my first 2,
Yeah.
but that was by far my go-to, my
Yeah.
favorite.
But I know,
So-
I don't remember if it was Finley or Zoe where like I went to a lactation consultant and found out like her lip was just moved funny. Like the way that the latch
Yep,
was.
the latch.
Like her lip was just
Jace
curled
was
under.
sucking in his bottom
Yeah.
instead
I
of
think
doing
that's I think
this
that's what it
move.
was for Z. And it's like her lip was, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I didn't know it made such a big difference, but
Yeah.
it did. And so once that got fixed, it was good from there. So ask for help.
Yeah.
Ask for help. And if you don't think something is right, then just ask somebody who's been through it before or whatever.
Yeah. So we talked about, and I don't want anybody to think it's scary. I mean, I was up and running around within a couple of days
Yeah.
with each of my kiddos. With Jace, I was back at the gym within 2 weeks.
boy.
With Jackson, I go once in a while, these 8 months. But it's all know your body and know what you're doing and
Right.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have anything to add about weight loss as far as postpartum? Because you were saying, like, you just had a big baby. Like, you gained how much weight to have this baby, and now all of a sudden,
Honestly,
you're laying in bed, not feeling like doing
all
anything.
3 times mine, for the most part, until the end, mine fell off. Hate it to say it. If anybody's
Because
like, I
everybody
hate
hates you for that, right?
With Bella, I was not healthy, but I was young. I was tiny,
Active.
and I was very, very, very active. I was a single mom. So I was waitressing 2 weeks after my C-section. Again, don't recommend that. So that fell off the side. With the boys, breastfeeding definitely helps.
Yes.
Having a somewhat fit, I would say actually pretty fit pregnancy definitely helps. And then eating right,
Yeah.
which was huge for me.
Yep. So eating the
The
foods
way
that are
I
right
felt,
for you.
good for my mood, for after, all that kind
Everything.
of stuff. Eating healthy versus not just what I wanted to shove my face with,
Yeah,
which
because
is cheese
I
curds.
just had a baby, so I'm just going to keep eating.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
When you're
It
breastfeeding,
doesn't-
I did that. I don't know if I talked about that on a show or not, but just eat because I could, because I'm breastfeeding, and then I feel like yuck.
Just don't eat junk.
Yes.
I mean, I might
but I did that
speak
too.
from experience. Well, between all my kids. I mean, I had Kylie and then Layla, and then since Layla passed away, it was like, I'm just going to keep eating because I'm just going to get pregnant again. Don't do it. It's not smart.
No.
But it is what it is. So ask for help, though, and don't put too high. And I feel like we say this every single episode, but don't put too high of an expectation on yourself.
Well, and if something is seriously off, find a wellness way doctor to get your hormones checked correctly. Yeah. If baby is, the last but not least, if baby is seriously crabby, most likely it's because baby is in pain. We talk about it in multiple shows. Colic does not have to be normal. Right. It could be chiropractic, it could be food allergies. With Jackson, he was very, very miserable, very gassy. All my babies were. Yeah. And with Jackson, it was dairy. We cut out the dairy. It got about 50% better. Found out coconut and shrimp were the other two. Would never have known that had I not tested me.
And so did that take care of it?
Oh yeah, totally different baby.
Totally different baby.
Yeah. Plus the adjustments, plus gripe water when needed. So all different kinds of options, and we have them out there listed on our shows.
Right, which we talk about in so many of the other
It's hard enough after you have a baby to get back into the swing of things, to get work, especially if kids at home and a husband and everything, that if the baby is colicky or the baby itself is harder.
Or not sleeping.
Yeah. That was Jace. I have no ideas for how to get your kid to sleep other than...
Don't ask us about the sleeping thing. Sleep when the baby sleeps. That's what everybody says, right?
And then you want to punch them when they say that, but it's legit.
But it's true. I mean, just sleep when the baby sleeps so you can get it over there. All right, so next week, that's all
I had two different things that we brought. That's right. My favorites, actually, that we forgot to talk about. Oh, you're going to get one of these at the hospital. Now my kids use them as bath toys. I had to get out of the bathtub. But
why don't you tell the people what this is for? Maybe
you're going to put water in it, and you're not going to want to wipe to go to the bathroom for at least a couple of days. So it's called a Peri bottle.
Yeah, let's put some water in it.
Yeah, but put warm water.
It's way better with
warm water. Don't just leave it on the sink and then just refill it every time with warm water.
Yes, warm water.
Tux pads. I don't even know what's in these particular brands. Witch hazel, which is fine. I don't know if there's any other bad stuff in here, but oh yeah. Oh, don't get that brand. Don't get that brand. Some propylene glycol, but no, the witch hazel, the cooling pads. But above all that, my favorite, which I did not have for my last two, is my Earth Mama Herbal.
This is really cute.
Spray. It's got essential oils, witch hazel in it. Literally, it was a lifesaver. I brought it with me to the hospital.
I wanted you to see the cute
and
logo.
Started Amazon, but I brought it with me to the hospital and started spraying it.
How do you down there? It says take care down
perineal.
there.
Perineal.
I don't
perineal.
know the right way to say that.
Yeah. So witch hazel, cucumber, peppermint, lavender.
Yeah. So that's good. That's got some good ingredients in it.
This was fantastic.
Yeah. So use that. Yeah.
I make no money.
I mean,
from
we are
this.
not. Yeah. This is not sponsored yet.
Yeah.
Yet. That's what you have to add. Cool. Is that everything? I mean, there's a number of questions. Earth Mama products are life, according to all my friends. Yes. Yeah. Apparently, they are excellent. Baby weight go off so much quicker than the second. The first baby weight came off so much quicker than the second. Ashley's wondering. I'm not sure. My assumption, not being a doc, would be hormonal something.
Yeah.
Or how you were before.
Or Jace was easier to lose than Jackson. Semi-similar, but I definitely. Yeah.
I wonder why that is. But that's probably a doctor question. Cool. Well, if you guys have any other questions or comments, feel free to put them in the chat, and we will keep an eye on them.
Oh my God, the first poop. I'm not the only one.
No, you're not the only one.
Back labor. Yeah, I was just taking a peek at if anybody had any questions.
No.
So awesome. Well, guys, if you like the show, comment. Let us know what you liked. If you're a first timer, drop a 1. Share. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Take your friends. Next week we are doing Mom Panel Monday.
Yeah, and we have a new guest coming on this one, which is going to be exciting. It's Dr. Patrick's wife, Christy.
So we have the good view, as we're so-called calling it, a roundtable discussion. We're going to talk about a couple of different things, but...
What are we talking about?
My birthday.
I'm excited. Oh, of course. Oh, my gosh. Wait, it's your birthday tomorrow?
No, I thought it was tomorrow. I kept saying last week that it was tomorrow, but it's next Tuesday.
Oh, my gosh. How about instead of saying if it's okay?
This is 30.
We've had this conversation so many times. Is it this week or next week?
It's next week, and I'm going to be 47. This is the wellness way.
Yeah, look at how good you look at 47 when you're crunchy. That's awesome. But really. Wait, so next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. So next Monday, we'll do Mom Panel Monday.
Got it.
So if they've got, we've still got a boatload of questions
we still have
from
a lot
last time.
that we didn't address.
And
and hopefully we'll see you at our May 17th event.
Always.
I mean, and we can talk about that on another show a little bit more too, just to touch on what it is. But Dr. Patrick just had his second book come out.
Oh, yeah.
I Disagree.
Yeah.
And
it's on Amazon right now for 99 cents.
It's on Amazon for 99 cents. You just said that. But that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, it's on Amazon for 99 cents.
But check it out. Go to Amazon. Just type in
cents.
I Disagree in your search thing, and it's 99 cents. So you can't go wrong. All right,
We'll
that's
see
all
you
I
guys
have to
next
say.
week. Love you.